Hi guys. I didn't think I'd be able to make it today, but here I am. If I cough while I'm on here or anything like that, no need to fear. I'm alive. My father had to test for COVID. I'm getting tested for COVID, but don't freak out. We're not dying. We're not that. I'm just getting it done to be safe. Because if I'd rather be safe than be that guy that's sitting on his chair and is like, I had a sinus infection and I just killed 300 people. you can't get it digitally, I don't think. But I would also like to give a shout out to a friend of mine. She does gaming on Twitch, a new sponsor. I hope I get your link right. If not, send it to me. I will put it in the description. Catality is her name. She is on Twitch, twitch.tv/Catality. Sorry if I got that wrong. I've just not been feeling the greatest, and I haven't really had a chance to change everything here. But on today's episode, we would like to dive into the tragic events of Astroworld. Hold on one second. The tragic events of Astroworld. Now, as more details have been released, there's a lot more known now. From what I've read, I could be wrong because the sources are different depending on where you read. There was 11 deaths so far, and there was over 300 people injured. Now, before we dive too much into it and attack Travis personally, let's get some details before we talk, because I know how Greg feels. But Astroworld may have been easily toned down if Travis handled things a little better on stage. I will admit that. He could have easily have seen that there was problems in the crowd and could have done more. He also could have, when the ambulance was coming through the crowd, he could have told people to move so that the situation could be de-escalated. Instead, he told people to put their middle fingers up in the air, which people assumed it was him flipping off the ambulance. He states that he did it to make sure everyone's okay, kind of like at metal shows you do the devil horns. But you could have told people to fucking move out of the way of the ambulance. There could have been more done, but there has been a report that I saw that the media hasn't really been talking much about, and it's kind of concerning. Apparently, a bunch of people broke in, and that's where the crowd surge came from, people that shouldn't have been there. There was also several people that had to be what's that called when you overdose on fentanyl or heroin, where they give you that shot? I forget the name of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, they had to do that to quite a few people there because apparently they had been injected in their neck with a needle, and there was somebody going around drugging people. And that could have caused the fucking crazy uproar as well. And it's also believed that some members of their security was drugged too, which is why they didn't react accordingly. Now, if that is the case, then yes, the security more than likely isn't at fault, and it's more so the people that drugged them. But Travis Scott himself could have de-escalated it better.
Yeah,
he could have.
I agree.
The singer of In This Moment, Mariah Brink, recently was at a show, and she stopped the fucking show because one girl was missing. She stopped the show entirely because she received a letter that was thrown up on stage by a fan. From what I believe, I don't know. I didn't see the video from the beginning because it only shows just recently. I don't know if the note was thrown on stage or not because it doesn't show that part. It just shows her reading it. But she read this note from a fan that said, "My daughter's missing." I believe she was like 7 or 8 years old. And Mariah Brink read the letter, shut down the show for a minute or two, read the note out loud, and did not perform until that little girl was found. She had all the house lights turned up, all the lights in the balcony turned on, described what the girl looked like, what she is wearing. She said this is possibly a kidnapping. Please keep your eye out. She stopped the show, And yes, it is awful that it could have been a kidnapping. I'm not making light of that. But she stopped the show for one person. Travis Scott couldn't stop the show when he saw an ambulance coming down through the crowd. He couldn't stop the show when he saw somebody getting CPR in the crowd when he was doing the robot. He couldn't stop the show when he saw people climbing camera towers. He couldn't stop the show when he saw people on the side yelling at the cameramen. Now, those things may have been overlooked. They may have, because I've been to metal shows and I've seen people taken over the rail, passed out. The show continued. I've seen a lot of crazy shit at shows and the show continued, but not to that degree. I've never seen an ambulance go through the crowd. I've never seen shit like that, but there have been people that have stormed the stage. So maybe Travis still gets the benefit of the doubt on that. But depending on what they said to them, 2 people came on stage that is presumably part of the show. Came out on stage, said something to Travis, and he went and shooed them off and continued performing. Now, while it is not clear at this point in time to me what was stated to him, if it was there's a situation we need to stop or something like that, and he continued, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Another reason why he's at fault for this is this was his event. He was the promoter. He was the one that put it together, and in that document that stated reasons for stopping the show or certain situations that might need handled, there's 56 of them from what I understand, and not one of them was a crowd surge. They had things ranging from tornadoes, fires, even terrorist attacks, but nowhere did it say how to handle a crowd surge like that.
It's completely bullshit.
Like, I know some people are wanting to blame Travis, and he is at blame, in my opinion, but more information needs to be brought forward in order to know for sure what was stated on that stage between him and those 2 people and what he actually saw. Now, I have not personally been on a stage of that platform and seen that many people, but from people that have in the metal community, you can see what is going on in that crowd if you were paying attention.
Yeah. After when that happened, there was just heaps of videos of rock performers on TikTok, videos that, stopping a crowd if people are getting hurt, and they're all like tagging Travis Scott's name because like he should. If like a 50-year-old rocker can stop a crowd, can do it, I'm pretty sure that peanut can do it too.
Well, the crazy thing about this whole event was, let me turn on a light so you guys can see me a little better. The crazy thing about that event, though, is Travis Scott has been known to cite riots at his shows. So he had to have known the crowd's going to get crazy. Also, Travis Scott has stopped shows because his shoe was stolen. He stopped a show for something as little as losing a shoe.
And he gets them for free.
Also, Travis, a lot of people are stating this is satanic. Now,
that's what
I don't know. I don't know Travis Scott's religious views. I don't know any of that. But I do know people that are Levian Satanists. I know there's different branches of Satanism, like any religion. But a lot of the people I know that are Levian Satanists, and even musicians that are, don't have this shit happen at their shows. Behemoth is a legit satanic black metal band. They've not had any fatalities to my knowledge at any of their shows in the last 20 years they've been a band.
Yeah.
Also, the whole they claimed that people were sacrificed that night. Conspiracy theory, they said that there's a lot of like references to the number 8, and before Travis Scott took the stage, it said "See you on the other side," which is an Illuminati quote, I do believe, or a satanic quote. I've never heard it until now, to be honest with you. I thought "See You on the Other Side" was an Ozzy Osbourne song released in the mid-2000s.
Sounds like a Korn album.
No, "See You on the Other Side" was an Ozzy Osbourne song.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But the thing is even with the references to the number 8, if the report that I read is true, there wasn't 8 people that died. There was 11.
Yeah.
And also, why would you take a tragedy like this and claim something like this with no backing? This was a tragic event, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, and like, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've seen it everywhere on social media, including like on on Snapchat, when you get like your news feed. They were saying that after the event, Drake was at a strip club throwing at $100,000 or whatever it is after the event, and then I think he only heard people died the next day. Like, fuck off.
According to Travis Scott, he didn't know that many people died to the next day, which is possible. But because he did cancel the second day, nobody's mentioning that he did cancel the festival. Yeah, that was the first day that happened, and this is also not. I've heard of him too. I know who Travis Scott is because I'm an Ozzy Osbourne fan, and that's where I discovered him.
Oh, is that where he was from? Like he?
Yeah. Well, no, he was really popular before he did that song with Ozzy. But you know that song he did, "Take What You Want From Me" with Post Malone.
Okay.
The rap part's Travis Scott.
I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, it's Travis Scott and Post Malone both sing 2 different rap parts, from my understanding. But Travis. The thing is a lot of people are blaming the whole Satanism, and I like to get into the whole conspiracy side too. I know it's a tragedy, and it's a shame for all the families that were lost, but that's the kind of show we are. We like to travel all venues. Lil Nas X is supposedly satanic, and he's had nothing bad happen at his shows.
Oh, yeah, I heard that guy, that little dweeb, yeah.
Yeah, Lil Nas X is a homosexual rapper, which is very brave in the rap community. And he's also had very satanic type images at his shows. Like he will come down a stripper pole in one of his music videos and lap dance Satan. Like really? Crazy shit like that. But Travis, I don't know. Like McDonald's had a burger in his name for a while. And all it was a Big Mac with bacon.
I think I've heard of the burger, but I've not heard of him before this tragedy.
Yeah,
is that how he had like 43.3 million followers on Instagram because of that?
Probably, but more details is going to emerge about this tragedy, and we will comment on it further. But what we know now is like I don't know who to really blame. You know what I mean? Because there's obviously evidence that hasn't been brought forward yet, but there's a lot of people that stated that the concert was a concert from hell. It was an awful concert. The mosh pits were bad, which I didn't know Travis Scott had mosh pits.
Me either until I saw footage.
Was Travis Scott the singer that did Old Town Road? Or was that a different singer?
I think it was a different singer. I'm not 100% sure.
I thought it was too, but Renee said Old Town Road or Old Time Road or whatever it's called.
Maybe. I think he might have done that the duet with Billy Ray Cyrus or some shit.
Because the fun fact about that song, and I forget who actually did it. It might have been Travis Scott, but Old Town Road won a Country Music Awards, the original version. And they took the award from him because it's a rap song, not a country song. And Billy Ray Cyrus redid it with him to make it a country song. And he got his award back.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to bag on Travis's music because he is a decent rapper. But he needs to, like, be more aware next time.
Yeah. Apparently, I think this happened a couple of years ago. One fan got paralyzed at his show.
Yeah.
And then he spoke out about what happened recently, and he reckons that he still hasn't learned his lesson.
Hi, Funky.
Hi, Funky.
What a lot of people don't realize, and I didn't either until I looked this up, this isn't the first Astroworld that has happened. As I did research, he's been doing Astroworld since I think 2018 or 19.
Yeah.
It's named after his album Astroworld, which is also named after a Six Flags, I think, ride, or no, it's after a Six Flags, like, Six Flags has different names for different, like, Six Flags they have. It was named after that, and that particular Six Flags was in Texas, his hometown, from what I've read anyway, and he actually bought or rented out the land, and that's where the event is at an old Six Flags. But, like, the event is 100% his responsibility, though. It's in his name. It's named after his album. Motherfuckers was walking through his mouth to get in.
Oh, they broke down the barricades, too, to get in. Have you seen it?
Yeah. People did break in. There was foul play. People were getting drugged and shit. So it's not 100% Travis's fault.
But yeah, the security could have been a bit better as well.
Yeah, but from what I understood, though, they might have been drugged.
They could have been. So
because
that could have compromised it as well.
Because they stated that some of the people that broke in might have been drugging people with fentanyl and a needle.
Yeah. But from what I've been reading as well, I think he's going to be losing a lot of fans, and same with his girlfriend, Kyle Jenner. A lot of people aren't following him. I
don't think it was a satanic ritual, Funky. I don't.
The reasoning. People claim to think it might be, but I doubt that too.
The reasoning why, and like I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I've not like dove in and studied every religion, but I've had friends of all religions, and I understand almost every religion. Satanism gets a bad rap, but the popular form of Satanism, which is Levian Satanism, they don't sacrifice people. Sacrificing people is a very old, like, really old thing that people used to do. Now, there might be people in the world that still do. I'm not saying they don't. But the more popular version nowadays of Satanism don't do that. They don't even worship Satan. They use him as a form of symbolism. And a lot of the celebrities that practice this religion, they would not sacrifice people.
No.
And if they do, they wouldn't do it publicly like this.
No, that's some next level shit.
Yeah, it is.
But nowhere in the Levian Satanic Bible does it mention, from my understanding, sacrifice. It more so mentions, like, do unto others as they do unto you. If people treat you like shit, you treat them like shit. Like, instead of love everybody, you treat people accordingly. So yeah, I doubt everyone in that crowd did Travis Scott wrong, since they're all fans. So I highly doubt this was a satanic ritual.
Yeah, didn't he push one fan off the bloody stage or whatever?
Not at this show.
No, but like at one of his shows.
But we can't judge him for that, because as metal fans, Randy Blythe did serve time in prison in another country for the same thing.
But didn't he warn him like 3 times?
Well, from my understanding, it's a common sense though. Unless you're invited, you do not come on stage.
Yeah, but obviously, being in a foreign country at the time, it's totally different.
Yeah, but it was also metal, not just a metal concert. But and Freemasons don't sacrifice people. Freemasons are actually supposed to be outstanding members of society in order to get in. Sorry, I had to clear that up. I don't know if that's what she was saying. I'm just clearing all bases. But what were we saying? I'm sorry, Grak. I just saw the comment and got sidetracked.
Oh, good.
What were you saying?
Oh, no, about Randy Blythe's situation with the crowd, so with the pushing. Yeah, maybe it was something.
But regardless, like, you shouldn't lay your hands on people, but you also shouldn't go on stage. And the whole Randy Blythe situation it wasn't a Lamb of God concert, from my understanding. It was a music festival.
Wasn't it? I thought it was a Lamb of God concert.
I do believe, I could have my facts wrong. Somebody fact check me.
I think it was, because I did watch As the Palace Burns doco.
But it was, from what I've seen and heard, though, it was like a festival setting, though. Like, it was a huge crowd.
Yeah.
So don't storm the stage.
Yeah.
But the difference between Randy Blythe and Travis Scott, and yeah, I'm going to dive into musicians that I like too and make myself a hypocrite for saying this. Travis Scott, when he was on stage several times, has demanded people in the crowd to storm the stage, to jump the barricades, to pretty much incite a riot. Now, a lot of people are saying, is that any different than, like, let's say Ozzy Osbourne on stage saying, let's go fucking crazy? That is different.
That's totally different compared.
Because when Ozzy says let's go crazy, he means physically, like, feel like, be yourself and go nuts, but take care of one another.
Yeah.
He's not telling people to storm the stage and cause violence.
Well, he mentioned that on one of his interviews because I like to cause rage at my show. I like to see blood. And I'm like, well, this guy...
Who said that? Travis Scott?
Yeah, in one of his interviews. I'm like, man, this dude's a loony.
And also, I was at a show one time. I forget what show it was. I think Godsmack. They kind of did similar because they were on stage and the singer, I don't know if it was Godsmack, so don't come at me if it wasn't. But it was a concert I was at many years ago, and the singer did say, I want to see all of your faces, and I want people that are back there to come up here. But he didn't say to cause violence or to riot or to he didn't tell security to let them through. It was a big open venue, though. It wasn't like, I don't know. But Travis Scott did not incite violence at this particular show. But with his track record, you probably would want extra security and to actually, like, keep an eye out.
Yeah. Well, you can't beat Maynard James Keenan when he put that guy in a headlock for being on stage, and he's like, Maynard James Keenan was like half naked.
I love that performance. I love that performance because Maynard, excuse me, Maynard was wearing, I think not a Speedo, but he was wearing like really tight boxers when he was performing, like kind of like wrestling pants. And this guy came on stage, and as Greg stated, he did this like martial arts flip on this guy, and he had him in like a chokehold. Now, as Greg mentioned, this guy had him in a sleeper hold for like a minute or two, while still singing in key.
Yeah, that is awesome. You can't beat that. You definitely can't beat that.
If you hear like badass, that's the definition.
Yeah,
that is.
If you want to see somebody else do it, they'll probably fail at that.
But yeah, like, I think I'm a kind of in the dark here, though, when it comes to the whole Astroworld thing, because most of the people that listen to this show don't listen to rap, and I don't even think any of you guys really listen to rap.
No,
I do, but not much modern rap. I've been trying to get into it. And Travis's music, I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt after this whole event, because people are really ragging on him hard, when in reality, yes, he could have done more, but it's not all his fault.
Yeah.
There was other key opponents. There was other key opponents that went into that. There's, obviously the security was possibly drugged, plays a role in that. People in the audience were drugged, so they were acting erratically. That's not how they would have reacted normally, especially on fentanyl. Cameramen, who knows why they didn't stop the show? They might have been ordered not to. I don't know. It could have been shit that didn't even have to do with Travis. So we don't know the full. We don't know the full details.
Sounds like a series of events that created the whole situation.
But
it's like seeing those two young kids walking up on the thing, telling the cameraman to stop, and then the camera guy told him to say, like, fuck off,
Yeah, but the fucked up part is they did scream people are dead or dying or whatever, but playing the devil's advocate, Travis didn't know this was going on, more than likely. He was performing. You can't hear over that fucking music what's going on the side of the stage.
No, not with all that auto-tune.
And sometimes I've heard as well when performers are on stage, they can't always see further back in the audience because of the lights on the stage.
Yeah, especially when you're the main event of an outdoor venue and it's dark out, you can only see. You can only really see, from my understanding, the first like 10 to 20 rows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which even then you could have seen, because there's people being squished, you could have seen the look of horror on their faces. They're being squished into the guardrail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of normal at a festival, though. So, like, I don't know who to, because I've been at festivals where I've been off of my feet before, but there was no tragedies at that event. There was no like deaths that I knew of. I was at one show where there was fatalities. It wasn't at that scale, though. I was at Louder Than Life, and it had nothing to do with much of anything, really, but the heat and the fact that we were all on dirt, so there was a lot of dust and dirt in the air. Somebody ended up in the crowd, and they got kind of squished a little bit, which is normal at a show, but they had asthma like I do, and all the dirt and debris and shit, this 14-year-old kid ended up dying from an asthma attack.
Yeah.
But still, that was the only death that I really know of. Like, I've seen people pass out that might have died, but it wasn't reported, so they more than likely lived. It was just a state of them passing out. Axl stopped a concert because people got pushed into the railings. He did. But we can look at all the metal and rock shows where people stop the show due to events like this. We can look at pop shows that have done the same thing. There has been rap artists that have done the same thing. But we can also look when rock and metal artists have fucked up, and they did similar to what Travis Scott did.
Yeah.
One of the good examples.
Metal gigs now have improved over the years.
They have, but let's look at like times where people have fucked up like this. But like with Ozfest, there's been no deaths. But remember when there's a big fucking fire in the audience, and they just Pantera, I think it was, kept performing.
Yeah,
as they let it out.
Slipknot show too recently.
Yeah, they stopped the show for that though.
Yeah.
But like there has been metal and rock shows where things have went wrong. I was at a Falling in Reverse show one time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was an accident or what, but Ronnie Radke the microphone ended up in the audience. Because he likes to throw his microphone up in the air and catch it.
Yeah.
So he threw his microphone up in the air and didn't catch it, and it flew into the audience. And somebody grabbed the microphone and wouldn't let go. So I think, I didn't see it happen. This is just what I was told from somebody in the audience, so I could be mistaken. But, excuse me, the coffee's actually helping with that, though. What happened was, from my understanding, was Ronnie Radke took the microphone stand and did like a G.G. Allen and hit the motherfucker in the head with it. And from my understanding, he hit the wrong person.
Oh, wow.
He ended up, I think, either hitting a kid or hitting somebody that didn't even have his microphone, and he ended up busting him up pretty good. Like, crazy shit like that has happened. We can't forget the times. I think he got sued over that. We can't forget all the times that Danzig has threatened to beat up people in the audience. We can't forget the time that Corey Taylor, love him to pieces, but the time he took somebody's phone and whiffed it into the audience. But that's not fatalities.
Yeah.
That's not fatalities, but like there's been times where like metal artists have told people to beat somebody else up in the audience. That's not the same level as Travis, but it could have been.
Yeah.
Because you incited violence and you are inciting that kind of behavior. Now, I know nobody's perfect, so I still love these artists. We all make mistakes, but we should pay for them. Hi, Sam. That is Catality. She's on
cool.
Twitch. Put your link in the comments, because I've not been feeling the greatest, so I didn't really get to set up anything for today.
I've just got Twitch, so I'm just trying to be like the cool kids too. I
plan on upgrading our StreamYard and branching out to more venues and being on Twitch and other streaming platforms, because I think we would be able to get a pretty good audience, because Twitch is starting to become as popular, if not more popular, than YouTube.
It is actually. A lot of people are using Twitch for everything now.
Yeah.
Gaming, live streaming like this. So
there we go. Twitch.tv/Catality. I was right in the beginning of the show. I will add you to the list of people. I do plan on, I might change our intro, to be honest with you, because I got to thinking we have all the people in the intro, but we don't have their links.
Yeah.
So I might just do the intro without that and then have like a break in the middle of the show where we shout out the people individually. Which means we're going to have to probably cut out some people or stop accepting new people because we have a lot of fucking people. And I love promoting everyone, but...
It's all the love, man. It's all the love.
But, yeah, end result, though, at this moment in time, who would you guys hold accountable? Would you hold accountable the people in the audience that were drugging everyone as the sole people that are responsible? Would you hold the security accountable? Would you hold the lack of preparedness for a crowd surge at a show where it's known for him to have crowd surges? Or would you solely blame Travis Scott himself? Or would you blame the cameraman for not telling Travis Scott and de-escalating the situation?
Yeah. Man.
Thank you, Sam.
Obviously, people are still going to blame Travis Scott because it's his festival and he could have done better. But then it could be partly his fault and security's fault and everybody else in that festival that could have handled it a lot better.
So you're just saying it's everyone. It's just a number of things, and not one person should be solely responsible.
Yeah, even though it is his festival. Question though, why is Drake getting sued?
I have no idea because I think he might have a stake in the festival. I'm not sure. And the part that kind of is upsetting that I didn't mention, and I apologize for not mentioning that. By the way, sound in the comments below whether you're watching live or not, and let us know who you think is responsible for this. And make sure you subscribe and like the channel.
I don't think that there was a particular person to blame. I think it was a whole series of events that led up to the tragedy. That's
right.
I just think it's just poor organizement. Like
the thing that kind of is unsettling is even if this whole event wasn't his fault, which I do not blame him, if you see all this craziness happening and you see an ambulance in your crowd, wouldn't you stay after the festival and ask what happened? Wouldn't you stay and be like, hey, how bad is it? Instead of going and partying at Dave & Buster's with Drake? Yeah.
That's the thing that really pissed me off. And then he made a statement the day after, saying that we just got the news that 8 people passed away, blah blah blah. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
And so he disappeared afterwards.
Yeah, from my understanding, I wasn't there, so I don't want to make false judgments. But from my understanding, when he left the stage, he met up with Drake and went to Dave & Buster's and partied. Okay. He didn't stay to ask how bad it was. He didn't do a follow up. None of that.
No.
Now, when it comes to this instance, though, I agree, nobody really is to blame. Hi again, Funky. But everyone is to blame because it's a series of events. But he could have done better. He could have, came out and been like, hey, is everyone okay? The initial event isn't his fault, per se. 100%, it might be. But it's not 100% his fault, but he could have done aftercare. He could have been like, hey, what happened? And then issued a statement that day. Things were crazy. I'm sorry. And his apology seemed very disingenuous to me.
Oh, did you see his video?
I've not seen him apologize. I've not watched the video of it, so.
The video is basically him pretty much stating, hey, I fucked up, apologizing. But the way he apologized, he was holding his face, ignoring the camera. He looked like a kid that just got caught doing something wrong, but he isn't actually sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people were taking the piss out of that because some of the people reckons that was complete bullshit.
And like he could have issued that apology the day of, like right after the concert, and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
At least maybe the promoters or something. Or,
he was the promoter.
Or maybe somebody that saw the whole thing would have warned him afterwards.
That's the thing about this event, though. Like, if he was a performer at somebody else's event, yeah, leave, go party, do what you need to do. You might find out the next day what happened. But if it's your event, it is your responsibility, even if it's not your fault what happened, to follow up after the show and see how that night went.
Yeah, exactly. All he cares is the fucking money, dude.
Like, you're supposed to meet up with your security. You're supposed to meet up with everyone and be like, hey, even if you didn't see anything bad happen in the crowd, like, hey, that was a good night tonight, wasn't it? Like, what happened out there? Like, you're supposed to check in on your people.
Maybe he knew that was something, something was really, really fucked up at the end, and then he felt really bad and figured that, oh, fuck this, I'm going out to a fucking nightclub with Drake.
I don't know.
His fucking head. Who knows? But yeah, a lot of people are not buying his apology video, so I haven't seen that, so I can't really judge it.
I've seen it, and like we all apologize differently. So honestly, he could have been genuine about it and just not known what to say or how to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not me to judge.
I still think it's stupid that he got mad that somebody was trying to steal a shoe.
But another thing that he did, though, I do give him good credit, though. He did state that he is going to pay. He wants people to contact him that has family that was resulted in death due to this, and he wants to pay for all the funeral expenses.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
But I heard people complaining.
It's not going to change anything.
It's not going to change anything, but it's at least something he should do because he's somewhat responsible. So he should at least help. A lot of people were saying this is his way of clearing his name. I honestly think like he means well with this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he should still see his day in court, but I think he means well. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to like see things from both sides because there's so many people that judge prematurely, and there could be stuff that comes out tomorrow that we didn't know.
Yeah.
That could sway it one way or another. Like we don't know what those people said on stage with them. So they could have told him, hey, there's deaths in the crowd, or they could have told him, hey, we're good to continue on. It's not that bad. Like they could have said anything.
They could have done,
yeah. They canceled his performance at a basketball in an NBA show or something like that.
Yeah, they're canceling. I think he canceled those shows because he is on ongoing investigation and he is cooperating with police and everything.
Yeah.
So that could take a while.
But I think it's just going to be a ton of freaking lawsuits going towards him.
Can we also mention something real quick?
Yeah.
Why was there that many people in the crowd? We're in the middle of a goddamn pandemic.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That kind of reminds me of Melbourne when I got their Freedom Day like 2 weeks ago. There was just people everywhere.
Like, not a lot of people are mentioning that. Why? He should be in trouble and they should be in trouble for having too many people in one area because right now events are supposed to be running at what, 80% occupancy or something?
Dude, that event is like 2,000 capacity. Like 2,000% capacity. That's insane. I'll get mad anxiety if I went to that.
Like,
yeah, I would.
I was supposed to go to Louder Than Life, and I kind of got screwed out of that, but I'm glad I didn't go because that was a packed room like that one. Like, and I found it weird that, like, a lot of people were like, if you're not vaccinated, stay away from me. Dude, you are at a festival where most people probably aren't, and you're nuts to butts. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, maybe like vaccinated people will still be carrying COVID around and spreading it to other people as well.
I'm not vaccinated, and it's my choice. It's my own body. I wear a mask in public. I do what I need to do to not spread it to other people if I do have it and I'm a spreader. But the facts just ain't adding up to me. It doesn't make sense. And they are stating that right now, those that are vaccinated are the ones spreading it.
Yeah, that's what I like. I got vaccinated so I can go back to work, because at the moment, like, you have to be vaccinated to be back at work, but still wear a mask, like in your workplace, wherever you're working at. But doesn't mean like I'm vaccinated or anything. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be fucking safe from everything. I on my days off, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm vaccinated, and I'm really careful.
I only
go for walks now. Like I
only hang out with like specific people.
Yeah, same.
And like I'll go and hang out with like somebody I just met or whatever, if they're not showing any symptoms of anything, because you can't like lock yourself up. That's not living. But like I try to avoid large crowds. I know that sounds hypocritical because I did go see Alice Cooper, but that's the only time I've really went out into a crowd like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily nothing happened to me. I mean, I might have COVID now. I mean, because I'm getting tested, but
dude, you're turning green.
Probably am. I'm not really concerned about myself. I'm more worried about my father. He's really tired and stuff. He's not like awfully sick, but like I'm more concerned about him than me because I'm all right. Other than like I've got a cough occasionally, depending on. Well, there it goes. But I have a cough depending on like. I don't even know what it depends on because sometimes it's not there for a while and then it'll pop up, and I've been really drowsy. But other than that, I'm fine. But the thing is get tested if you think you should. Congratulations, Sam. I hope you don't get sick because I know there have been people that like. This is why I'm not necessarily vaccinated right now. It's not that I'm against a vaccine by any means. I'm pro-vaccine. It's that I've known so many people that have gotten the COVID shot and still got COVID and was still very sick from it.
Yeah, and one of my friends, he lives in Victoria. He was in hospital because of his first COVID shot.
I have a friend right now. Her brother is fighting for his life, and he is vaccinated, and he has COVID.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's each to their own, I guess. And everybody's immune system and body health is all different to others.
The thing is people are getting way too hostile about this. Just because you're not vaccinated doesn't mean you're anti-vax. That means that you just don't want this one until more has come out, or you just don't want to get it because you might be allergic to the shot.
Yeah.
Like... I don't think, for me personally, I don't think it's worth getting because of the risk.
Yeah.
Because if I can still get COVID possibly, and I could still possibly die from it, I know the chances are less. Then for me, what is the point of getting the shot when I would rather somebody who is older or somebody who needs the shot more than I do to get the shot?
Yeah. I don't know. I had second thoughts about getting it before, but then I do want to work and I do want to go out and see.
But I don't like.
I was concerned earlier in the year when they said about the concern over the blood clots with the AstraZeneca, and I just did my research and just read up on it because I know what reliable sources they are on the internet to read up and made my own decision about it. And the doctor said to me, but because females in a certain age group, he said, high risk of blood clots, so they wouldn't recommend that one for me. So I just got a different type.
There's also chances of like pregnancies.
Got a different type of vaccine. Yeah.
There's also risks with pregnancies too. I think they said if you're pregnant and you get the vaccine, there's a chance of stillborn or whatever. I don't know. I haven't done that much research when it comes to pregnancies because that's nothing that I'm concerned about.
Nothing I'm concerned about anymore.
I'm over here
that's all over with.
Perhaps I should probably read it because it might say may cause pregnancies in men, and I'll get really confused. I get the vaccine and I'm peeing out a baby.
Little Mike.
Little Mike. But yeah, sound off in the comments below what you think about this whole Travis Scott thing, who you think's responsible. We're probably going to cut this off of here because I need to take a nap before I get my test.
Yeah, I'm going straight back to bed.
You need sleep. It's like, what, 3 or 4 in the morning?
Almost 5.
Damn. Oh, yeah, time change. That's right.
Yeah, because you guys are on daylight savings now, and we're in daylight savings now, so everything's an hour forward for us.
Oh, so you guys did change.
Yeah.
Do you guys change the same time we do, or?
No, I think we're like a week ahead when we change our times from you guys.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get off of here so I can drink a little bit of more coffee, maybe even tea, because I probably want to take a nap because I'm tired of shit. But I love you guys. Next week, is it just us again, or do we have a guest? My brain's not with it.
Isn't the show on next week?
I think she might be on next week. Hold on. Could you look for me? Could you look for me, Naomi?
Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks.
Let me look.
November, yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and promote the episodes we have coming up. That'd be simple. We have a mental health episode coming up. It is on November 29th. It's in 2 weeks. We have Michelle Titian on November 29th at noon. We're going to discuss mental health. And we're going to discuss mental health in the music industry, entertainment industry, and in general. We're just going to discuss mental health because it's a big thing to us and everything like that. If you suffer from mental health, come listen to the show. You might learn how to cope with it better. And if you don't suffer from mental health, if you want to learn what it's like to have mental illness, come watch the show. I don't think anybody doesn't have it anymore, though, to be honest. Now we also have a Star Wars episode coming up. Not coming up, it's in December, but we have one. We have it on December 13th at noon. We have Eric 13 joining us. We're going to talk about all things Star Wars in Australia. We might have to do a part 2. We might have to do the Star Wars Australian episode, part 2, and then we'll have to come up with a name for it. Episode 2, new cunt or whatever. Because it is Australian. But I love you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Stay healthy out there. If you're at a show, metal, country, rap, I don't give a fuck. If you're at a show, folk, take care of the person next to you. Take care of the person in front of you. To the right, to the back. I don't care what their political view is. I don't care how they are. Be a better person and take care of that person because you are all there for the same purpose. You are all there for the same reason, to listen to that artist and to have fun. So let's have fun at shows. Let's not make this something horrible that will ruin metal shows, rock shows, or any shows. Take care of each other. Love each other. Or you
get a paddling from me.
And remember, be kind, rewind. Love you guys. Live long, rock hard.
My mustache.